you very much for joining us. I'm really excited to have Dave Stamm in studio with us. You might have heard before different organizations that come into our program talk about the Stamm Koechlein Foundation. And well, that's all started because of a family foundation of which Dave Stamm is a part of. So good morning. Thank you for being here on the program.
Thanks, Bill, for having me.
Absolutely. So when you get to town, there's a lot of things on the agenda, and I think you shared with me that you were going to be visiting a lot of different locations in the time of year. When you do come into town, generally, how long is it?
Every 2 years, the family comes for 3 days. My sisters and now my children and their children are getting involved. And we all have to come back to Richmond and experience our hometown and see what's going on and how we can help.
I saw that raised in Richmond, went to Purdue University, but I'm not sure how people know the connection to this area other than just being here. Why the decision to start the foundation and why give back in this way? It's amazing.
Terry Koechlein and I were married for 25 years. She grew up in Richmond, as did I. We both went to Purdue. We didn't meet in Richmond High. We met at Purdue. And then discovered that we actually met because somebody introduced us saying, hey, you're both from Richmond and you don't know each other.
We don't hear that a lot. We think we're kind of a small town, but
Yeah.
maybe not.
No, not so small. So the two of us married and we moved to California. And I was very fortunate to join the tech industry in the early days. I worked for what was a little-known company called Intel Corporation. It's my first job there, and just had a fabulous time in the San Francisco Bay Area.
And you have taken those opportunities and done some other businesses and some other ventures, been involved with other work?
Yes, I started 2 companies. One was sort of a spin-off of the work at Intel. It helped technology companies build integrated circuits, provided software that helped engineers do that work. And then I started a company called Clarify that focused on customer service. So if you ever called and you've gotten a trouble ticket number, and then you call back and they have a history and a record of what you called about, or they know you have a service contract, that's the software that we provided.
Wow.
So we sold that to tech companies like Microsoft and Cisco, even things like the American Blood Bank, who wanted to track any issues with the blood distribution or supply. And that company did really well. So Terry and I decided that we wanted to get back to Richmond because we both loved growing up here, and we thought there were a lot of places we could help. And we focused mainly on children's causes and youth. So much of our investment here is focused on that still.
And what are things that you particularly look for? Do you like when organizations have something innovative, something programs geared towards entrepreneurship? What are things, good keys that you look for when deciding to help?
I think it's all about the people who are running the organizations, their level of commitment and the vision, and having a vision that they can actually achieve. So sometimes organizations shoot too high, and we try to find the ones who have a really good goal and objective, and step by step, year by year, they can make more and more of a difference. So for example, we see Girls Inc. They've done really well. Now they've outgrown their facility.
Amazing.
They're moving to another location. The Boys and Girls Club has always done a fantastic job here, and they're expanding outside of just Richmond and having a bigger impact in Wayne County in general. And then Cope Environmental.
And you're going out there today?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're going to love that nature center, that nature
Yeah.
building. Oh, that building is amazing.
We haven't seen that yet. We've seen the old location for it, but we
that's-
didn't see the final location.
Well, I'm glad they're saving it for one of the last things you'll be doing while you're here because it is fantastic. Now, when you come to town, is there any hot spots that you'd like to go? Is there a certain meal, food, anything that you want to grab while you're here?
Well, after a few years of corn, then we have to get a breaded tenderloin.
All right.
Because it just doesn't exist in California. You cannot find a breaded tenderloin. Now, my aunt, unfortunately, she died, lived outside Rushville, and she would get out one of those big hammers
Yeah, sure.
and pound that thing down to like a quarter of an inch thick, and then throw it in some flour and fry up those things. Now, that was the best bread and tenderloin you could ever find.
I know Monica Koechlein is listening right now going, he went there? He's talking about breaded tenderloins? Let's talk about entrepreneurship. You talked about your focus. Dave Stamm, by the way, is our guest, Stamm Koechlein Foundation. You can find out about the foundation. We shared the links to their website on our social media pages. It sounds like when you look at organizations in which to contribute, you're looking at some from a business perspective. Which ones can hit achievable goals?
Yes.
If there was a camp of young entrepreneurial kids, teens, adults, based on your knowledge and your success, what are some things that you would tell them about not necessarily how to run a business, but just growing up and understanding how their role in the world?
Well, I think being an entrepreneur is a tough road to hoe. And you see the same thing in a lot of these organizations here. It's tough work to do what they do. So first you have to be willing. Are you willing to make the kind of sacrifice it takes to do that? Secondly, you really have to prove out your idea. So you have this idea. How can you determine whether or not it could be successful? And invest the time and energy before you spend 1, 2, 3 years of your life trying to make it happen. Make sure it's really achievable and figure out how you can confirm that what you're thinking about doing is really going to be successful. I'd say that's the most important thing. Sometimes people jump in with both feet and they're not jumping in the right place.
Right.
So spending that time to really confirm your idea is probably the single most important thing you can do.
Wow, that's pretty good. I don't know that we have a better interview this week. We've interviewed a lot of folks, but that is really important, and I hope that message can get out to kids whenever you have an opportunity to be back in Richmond and Wayne County. I don't know how to usually when we talk to business leaders or community leaders, we talk about thanks for their commitment to community. I don't think there are many people that put their money where their mouth is when they say that, when they want to give back. And so I think for all of us and a lot of the organizations that benefit from the Stamm Koechlein Foundation, thank you. It's a really important work, and we're glad that and honored, I guess, to be selected as one of those communities that get your benefit.
Well, it's really the only one we're focused on.
Oh, that's
because
wonderful.
We want to make a difference too.
Yeah.
And so focus is really the key to make a difference. And so we're able to invest about between $150,000 and $200,000 per year into Richmond. We've been doing that for like 15 years now. And since we hired Monica to work for us, she's done a great job with us, and now with the Richmond Symphony, and helping us figure out what organizations make sense, organizing our trips, because we come back, the whole family comes back every couple of years. We visit 15 to 20 different organizations over 2 to 3 days. So Monica does a great job of helping us get the visibility and understanding and know what the needs of the community are.
Well, safe travels, and don't forget the tenderloins. And then we get a whole frozen box. No, get a box and send them over. And when you come back in a couple of years, come back and visit. And bring some more family in. We appreciate
really enjoyed it.
Thanks for being Dave Stamm with the Stamm Koechlein Foundation. Find out more about their website. You can check it on our Facebook page and get the link.